Yo, Io.
What up, though, Jay?
Hey dog, have you seen outside, bro?
Nah, I ain't look. What's poppin'?
Bro, there's some dark. It looks like we got some storms coming, some dark clouds over the sport of boxing, bro.
Oh my.
It's time to talk about it right after this.
This is JJ Solomon.
This Ray Bradshaw, Mr. IOTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.
It's your boy, Mr. IOTBA, Mr. 214, Senor Dos, 14, Senor Dos, 14, Mr. Undeniable, Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. Man, this is Spit Bucket Podcast, episode number 99. Do you understand me? And you know I'm right here with my dog, my partner, my brother from another, Mr. JJ Solomon. What's poppin', my guy?
What's popping with you, Mr. IOTBA? How you feeling on this back to back? When's the last time we done a back to back, dog?
Oh man, times like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. I don't know. I can't think about when the last time we did a back to back. But guess what, though? We're going
No,
back to back
man.
tonight, though. What's poppin', Jay? What's good, man? What's good out here? We had Brian Norman on the show yesterday. Everybody, if y'all ain't checked it out, please
Oh man, that
go
was a
on our
great
playlist
interview.
and check out that interview with Brian Norman Sr.
Yo, it was a hell of an interview, bro. Like just his realness. Like shit, we were just talking about it. Like you picked Hackett to beat him, and he don't come on here with no soft shit. He told you was a
Yeah,
fool. So like,
yeah,
and that's just one part of it, man. He's just a real one. From how he raises his kids to the work he puts in, not drinking, not smoking. Seems like, man, nothing but salute to Brian Norman. Like you said, if you ain't seen it, go check out the episode we dropped yesterday, episode 98. What's up, Primo?
Eddie in the building. Eddie in the building.
Hey man, he's making a run for a buckethead of the year, my boy. He
Oh, nah,
he
for
been
real
every
though.
one of these mugs.
Nah, for real though. For real, like I'm telling y'all, man, if y'all want to win this Buckethead of the Year, man, it come with commenting, sharing our posts, super chatting, if you
Mhm.
can, you know what I'm saying, to help us build this right. That all play a part in it, with being Buckethead of the Year. This gonna be the first annual Buckethead of the Year. I don't know how we're gonna do it today. You think we're gonna do it with our end of the year awards? Or you think it's
Probably,
its own
bro. I
presentation?
think with our golden bucket awards, we'll have a
Yeah, with our golden
buckethead of
buckets.
the year awards and do little
Yeah,
some giveaways and stuff. So, um,
nah, for real.
mm-mm.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that though because it's exciting because it's a lot of people I know who in the running who I see consecutively, like whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, Apple, and every other social media platform that we're on. I see. Just know we see
We
y'all.
see it.
Don't think y'all not seeing.
No, we see it, bro. Well, cool, dog. Let's jump into this, man. We had some more breaking news today, and it wasn't nothing good. Nothing good. More bad news, which is obvious the title of the episode. So we'll just jump right into it. We had big fight June 21st of 2025. It was a hellacious fight. It was for the interim WBC flyweight against Galalia fight and Francisco Rodriguez. And Rodriguez got the W. I guess I should put this down. Rodriguez got the W. It was a brutal fight. It was one of those fights that take life and years off of a dude, their career. Um, you check out the CompuBox. You had Rodriguez landing almost 600 shots. It was 575 punches, over 1,000 thrown. The 575 is a record, dog. And we laying out a story here, so don't just follow us. We're not just nitpicking one fight, but it turns out we got the ruling today that Rodriguez popped. It popped dirty for a PED test. The PED still hasn't been announced what the infraction was, but there were adverse findings. The Ring, that's just the Ring article where they were talking about it. So Yeah, dog. Here we are. Again, another PED story. Talk a little bit about this one, your thoughts on it, specifically with the ass whoop, the brutal ass fight, and then we'll make the connection that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, it's disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you win, if you're a boxing fan, right? If you're not close, to the fighter who's supposed to win, like everybody loves seeing the underdog do his thing and seeing the underdog come out to be successful. And in this case, Cuz was the underdog, and it's exciting seeing him throw all these punches, break the concubine
Hmm.
record, JJ. Then to see this come out today after gleaming over that fight when it happened. I got a sour taste in my mouth. I'm disgusted because this is starting to get sickening in the sport. These guys popping and just getting slapped on their wrist, JJ.
Hmm.
That's what I'm sick of and disgusted about.
Yeah, I agree, dog. It's the slaps in the wrist. We're talking about fighters that have two, maybe three fights a year. If you're not that well known, but you're known 4 fights max a year, so you get a year suspension. It's literally a slap in the wrist. These fighters ain't afraid. You look at how Ryan Garcia blew up damn near after the Haney situation. And you can't blame these guys. They want any edge they can get. Um I'm to a point to look at D Style. Well, shout out to D Style. He said, "No dark cloud. Give me a break." Hey,
Salute this
let
stuff.
us get to
Salute
it.
this
Let us make a presentation. We're not deeming anybody guilty tonight. We're just talking about the cloud. Both fighters are getting tested. Nothing to do with it. Nothing will stop the major event. I get it, dog. I get it. But you'll see where we're going. Where I'm going with this. I mean, we literally had the Olympics be affected by one half of these dark clouds. You don't think the Olympics were on top of the test, bro? Like, so we'll get to it. We'll get to it. And again, this, I mean, we got to talk about it. We got to
But
talk
it's
about
like it's just like that comment saying
it.
it's no dark cloud. Shout out to Mark Nash too. Like that's
Mhm.
irreputable, like irremissible. The comment that he just stated, it's no dark cloud. Like,
How can you ignore
really,
it? Yeah,
really, it's
it
no dark cloud. Oh, what we supposed to do? Just let this next one just float right by us? This guy who just got popped and they got announced, he ain't supposed to be the focus, just like everybody else. It's not a dark cloud. Yes, it is, and we're gonna
shout out
get
to
to that.
Mark. Yeah,
I'm
shout out.
sorry, Jay.
No. Shout out to Mark Nash with the super chat. Appreciate
Salute
it.
my guy Mark Nash. Make sure y'all go subscribe to
Fact.
Mark Nash TV. He don't just talk boxing; he talk everything. He be covering everything. He one of the best in the business. That's been my guy for a long time, and I'm telling y'all, his content is superb. Go subscribe to Mark Nash TV.
Yeah, man. Big salute. So, yeah, so we got to somehow tie this, of course, right? It's our job. Tie this to the biggest fight of the year, and that's the little thumbnail where you have a Bud and a Canelo, and right there next to each one of them, you have Eddie Reynoso with the No Boxing No Life branded hat, and of course, what's supposed to be Victor Conti. Now, before we move forward with this, I want to make a quick disclaimer. All right. I want to make a quick disclaimer because this is not meant to be disrespectful to anybody, and specifically Victor Conti. We know Victor Conti was recently diagnosed with cancer, I believe pancreatic cancer, if I'm not mistaken. Very serious. And this by no means is an attack on a man while he's down. But at the end of the day, it's a discussion that boxing people have. It's a concern that some boxing people have, including me. I know you, um, and we have to talk about it. So this, again, by no means is a shot at Conti, but we have to address the facts. We're not saying anything that hasn't been proven or anything in the past. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it, Io, because you can say Conti's in the past and he's been clean since then. So now we're letting stuff in from the past, but now we have something happening in the present. It's unfolding in front of our eyes. And that's with the Reynoso camp and the ties to Reynoso. We can put this up now where 7 of these boxers now, dog, and since what's this 2017, I believe Canelo with the Clenbuterol, Luis Neri, Martinez, Oscar Valdez, Ryan Garcia, Munguia recent as this year, and then Rodriguez. Ryan wasn't in Reynoso's camp in this time, but still, this damn list is long enough and it's concerning enough, dog. It's concerning enough. Victor Conti ain't, he doesn't have a long list of fighters who have been popped. Oscar Valdez actually was a snack. He was represented by Snack when he popped for Fentermine, so he's kind of a double dipper. But dog, how can we not talk about this now? Like, how can we ignore going into the biggest fight of the year, the biggest event, two of the biggest names in boxing, definitely on the pound for pound list, and you have one tied to a guy who's the fucking mad scientist, Einstein, whatever you want to call him, of PEDs, and then now you have another one tied to Reynoso, one who's popped himself. What are we doing, dog? Talk to me. Should we be concerned?
Of course, we should be concerned, especially as dudes who cover the sport of boxing, love the sport of boxing, got people who near and dear to us who in the sport of boxing. So of course we should be concerned, and of course it'll be bush league of us here, the Spit Bucket Podcast, to look the other way. We're not going to do that. We're not on here to pat people on the back, or spank people on the tail, right? We on here to be as open and honest as possible, because if we don't be direct with the situation and just look the other way, like a lot of people want to, and a lot of people are doing, and a lot of people are making this seem like it's not a problem, especially JJ with Eddie Reynoso fighters being so close to each other and both of them popping dirty. How is this not to be talked about? You will be doing a disservice to yourself if you look the other way.
Dog, it's bad, bro. It's bad. And I want to preface this with, we're in media and we're not supposed to be biased and all that shit, right? And we do our damnness. At least I can speak for myself, not to ever let that leak into our job, which is to call it down the middle. But I'm still a human and I'm still a fan of the sport, and I still have my favorites. And Terrence Crawford is undoubtedly at the top of that list, right there at the top, if not the very top. I know you're a huge fan of Canelo Alvarez. I'm a big fan of Canelo Alvarez too. I put him probably in my top 10 of current active favorite fighters. But with all that said, with Crawford, I've stressed for years I wish he didn't wear that snack thing. Not because I hate Victor Conti, but because what's tied to Victor Conti, in my opinion, from what I've seen from Terrence Crawford, he don't need to be tied to that. It's an unnecessary dark cloud. And that's what we're asking. Is it a dark cloud over the biggest damn sporting event or boxing event of the year? And you look at who's being represented on each corner, and you got one guy who's been to prison for it and another guy who can't stop producing them. I don't know what the hell what are we doing, dog? What are we doing? Look, I do want to take a second before we go on this. I want to replay the Canelo when Munguia first popped. Canelo commented about it, and here's what he said. And I'll translate it for y'all here in a little bit.
No, lo de Eddie, de Munguía, pues obviamente con Munguía estamos al 100%, ¿no? Él lo sabe. Solamente él sabe lo que pasó. No, al final de cuentas sabe lo que pasó. Obviamente la gente le tira a Eddie que porque Eddie no le lleva su suplementación, Eddie no le lleva sus cosas de lo que tiene que comer, ni mucho menos, para que entiendan. Eddie nomás lo entrena y punto. ¿Cuál fue hace tiempo yo le dije a Eddie, tú tienes, el día que vayas a agarrar un peleador, ¿qué es lo que tienes que hacer? Agarrarlo desde todo. Tú tienes que darle de comer, suplementación y todo. ¿Para qué? Para que no te pasen esas cosas, porque ya han pasado y que le echan todo al Canelo.
All right, so just a real quick translation. He said, we're behind Mungia. He said, Eddie don't do nothing but train him. He don't feed him. He don't give him supplements. But he also says, I told Eddie a long time ago, when you bring in a fighter, be sure you're in charge of all of it because this happens. And it's happened. And he ended with, and of course, everybody blames Canelo team. Well, dog, Canelo, as the face of boxing, as the king, as the guy who could do whatever he wants to do, you have a responsibility for you, your peers, and the future of the sport to make sure it's clean, dog. You have experienced failing a test, and you, whatever, however that help, y'all have a responsibility. So everybody is just pointing fingers, from the fans to the media to the people involved, just pointing fingers. No, it's not a dark cloud. No, we don't have to talk about it. That's why we're in this damn position to begin with, dog. Is it going to affect your excitement about Canelo Crawford, bro?
No, it won't.
Exactly.
It won't
That's
take away my
that's the
excitement.
problem.
But I'm gonna go back to that video you just played. I knew it was more to that. That's why I wished I really understood and spoke Spanish, because when they clarified that to us, right, it wasn't clarified and broke down, like you just broke it down. And, everybody know, I like Canelo, I do. And it ain't no favoritism towards Canelo, because I like him and I think he's gonna dog walk Crawford in this fight. Like dog walk him, like walk him across the longest yard in the city and just dog walk him, just spank him the whole time. Not just because I feel that, but you know what, Canelo pisses me off when he came out and said that bullshit statement that he said, I support Munguia. Okay, but what about after that? Where is the putting the foot down and saying Munguia is wrong for this when you are the biggest face in the sport? Where's your clarity on that and standing up? But you know why Canelo didn't do it? Because he was scared shitless, right? Because you know why? Clubuterol. If he go turn his own Mexican compadre down or any other fighter, they could point back to that Clubuterol. Well, Canelo Alvarez, I thought you were a clean fighter, sir. I thought it was the meat. It was the meat. How do you say it in Spanish, JJ? Meat.
La carne.
Ecade. Trust me, people. Ecade. I thought it was the meat, Canelo, right? So if it was the meat and you know that you didn't do a disservice to this sport and come up with clenbuterol, why you ain't putting your foot on the gas and saying Munguia was absolutely wrong? And why are you telling Eddie to be careful who he bring fighters in? Yeah, be careful who you bring them in to make sure that they the truth and they're going to be disciplined and do everything that you say. But you acting like you want Eddie Reynoso to walk around and hold their hands. No, Canelo, they come in there because of you, sir. Not just because of Eddie Reynoso and his pops. All them fighters who come to Eddie Reynoso, yeah, it got something to do with him. But if you let your mind play tricks on you and you don't think Canelo is the reason that them fighters are coming, you're foolish. Canelo, why aren't you holding their hands? Why don't you got a bed for them? You got this gazillion of money. Why you don't got bunk beds all around the house and make sure you have a Chef Boyardee feed them all the right food and give them the necessary supplements, not the illegal ones that they take? And why don't you have cameras, and actions so you can see their every move? So that's what Canelo pissed me off. Because as the face of boxing, he did a disservice. It's like, oh, we support Munguia. No, you can't support Munguia. He just got caught, tested positive. You supposed to nationally, um, not disgrace, but you supposed to nationally,
What's the word
uh,
I'm looking for? What the word I'm
um,
looking for? Yeah, we'll just.
you're supposed to nationally address him, and he needs to be embarrassed in a way and let him know that he's wrong for this. I ain't saying throw Munguia on the streets. Yes, support him. Keep him with you. He made this mistake. And if you do it again, then you up out of here. But you supposed to stood up and nationally publicize this guy, and you didn't. And you failed miserably. That's
Mm,
the face. That's the face of the sport, JJ.
bro, is the face of the sport. The No Boxing, No Life brand, the Canelo team brand is taking a beating. I'm always talking about unnecessary doubts and shadows of doubt. And bro, how can you look the other way? So now, here's the thing. When I asked you, is it going to affect your excitement for the fight? And you said no. And that will forever, and I'm not talking shit to you because I'm excited about the fight too. That will forever be the problem, dog. Because we say we care and we say all this and all that, but then when it comes time to put up or shut up, there we are glued to the TV. There we are buying tickets to go to these fights and support these guys. So I don't know what to do, dog.
But that's not on us, though, JJ.
No,
That's
you're
not
right.
on us because
You're
we
right.
love boxing.
Yep.
We don't know the word stuff that these guys put in their system. It's up to these freaking commissions who dirty, nasty, and rotten, and just want to see the shmoney, Jose Jr. They just want to see the shmoney. So instead of them, like I say, pat on the wrist, right? Because you can't put that on us. We get out here and do our job and address it. Now, are you guys who are the commission and who running these things? Are you guys looking at the problem and going to make the necessary change? Because obviously, y'all don't care. They want to see fighters get killed in the ring. They do. That we
Well,
just got to put it out there. They want to see them get killed in the ring because guys who get tested positive for steroids get slaps on their wrist 6 months, 1 year, then they could come right back. No, it should be devastating. And I'm gonna go back to this. If they did my guy Pete Rose, the best baseball player ever who played for the Cincinnati Reds, if they did him like that for betting on his own team, he got a bonus for life. You telling me these guys who putting word stuff in their system who could go in the ring and kill a motherfucker and they just get slapped? No, don't. It's not on us. It's not on the promoters. It's on the fucking commission for not doing a motherfucking job.
yeah, dog. I'm at the point, bro. I agree with all that. I'm just kind of at a pace. Look, I didn't know you 10 years ago, right? But had you been on my social media, bro, like I was Mr. Rah Rah, like unity. Let's all get along. Like America is not what social media tells us it is. Like this is all bullshit. Like let's love each other. I got this Statue of Liberty tattooed on my side. Like I was all about like just unity and let's ignore all the bullshit, right? But like the older I got, like the more and more frustrated. You see stuff like just all the constant bickering, whether it's what's going on right now with immigration or whether it was BLM or gay marriage. Like there's always people fighting. And I finally just got tired of it. And if you look at my social media, it don't look nothing like it used to. I kind of quit on this idea that we all should love each other. I'm starting to quit on boxing ever cleaning this up, bro. Like I've been such a naysayer, and like we got to clean it up, and we got to fix it. And like the PEDs, and we got to and let's talk here a little bit about what Devin Haney said today about testing year round. And salute to Haney for doing that. Why can't we just make something mandatory? Because at this point, bro, if Bud is working with Conti and Canelo's working with Reynoso, like why not just fucking just let them at that point? What the doubt is stupid, bro. Like it affects so much for me. Like I'm still gonna enjoy the fight, the event. I'm still excited, but in the back of my mind, it's like it feels dirty, dog. It feels dirty.
No, agree 100%. And like I say, Team Crawford can't point fingers because of their situation, who they represent, who got they represent, and Canelo can't point fingers because of their situation, and the steady number of people getting popped
God
in that camp,
damn.
JJ. Oh my God, this is just becoming like when you look at Canelo count, you questioning, like, is each fighter gonna pop after the fight? Like, I don't know if Canelo a clean fighter. I can't say he a clean fighter. I can't. I
Mhm.
mean, I can't accuse him of being a clean fighter, which what I can because he got caught with Kabushara in the system. But I can't say that he a clean fighter now. And for all my Mexican people around the world, y'all got to stop. And listen, y'all got to stop, hold up, wait a minute, pay attention. Now, y'all Mr. Viva Mexico, Um, and everything, right? And I get it. Red, white, and green. I get it. And I want y'all to stay down with it. But I want y'all to be open and honest with yourself when I'm talking about this freckle faced, redhead Mexican from Guadalajara, Mexico, and Canelo Alvarez, right? Be honest with yourself. This dude say, oh, we support Munguia. Oh, Eddie need to do a better job. Well, what about when you popped? Was he doing a good job with you, Canelo? You think Eddie was gonna tell on you? You was the biggest thing they had going. So why not fill Canelo up with these things? Because he's gonna bring us millions. Because everybody knew he had next after Floyd, JJ. We all knew that. It's making me question his entire career, right? I can't say that he was on it his entire career, but it's making me question it. You know, like 'cause when you know you next and you been popped,
Mhm.
they gonna do whatever they want to do. Money make the world go round. I don't give a damn when nobody's saying what business you in. If you ain't like in boxing, you ain't supposed to cheat like that because people mind life is on the line, right? Your cheating should be working out extra hours and going extra hard. But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win, right? And what I mean by that is you trying to make sales and all other type of businesses happen, and you got to make it happen, even if you got to tweedle with it a little bit. But in boxing, it's different. You could cheat by working out hard, making sure you stay focused, making sure you treat your body like it's golden if you want to stay on this level. It's disrespectful, right? I'm talking
Dangerous,
about,
bro.
and look, it's not just
Dangerous.
Mexican fans like, and if you Mexican fans got a problem with me saying that it's not just y'all, because I'm a Canelo Alvarez fan. Y'all don't think he got a bunch of black fans? Y'all don't think Canelo got a bunch of Asian fans, or white fans, or every other race fans? A lot of people will live and die by that freckle faced redhead Mexican from Guadalajara, Mexico. But it's everybody now. Is we gonna hold Canelo accountable? Is we gonna start pointing the finger at him? Because you was the creme de la creme in that camp, right? You make all the decisions, not Eddie Reynoso. Stop the shenanigans, Canelo.
Hey, bro, I know you were joking around earlier about security cameras and bunk beds, but remember when we were in hanging out with Don King's folks and we went
Yeah,
to check out Don King's boxing camp in Ohio? Remember that
yeah,
facility? How
man.
it was a camp, like it was locked down. Like I'm not
But
saying
but
we got to go back to those days, but shit, if you having an
not.
outbreak of PEDs, you might need to.
But this was crazy, and like I'm glad you said that, and I'm gonna let you get back on point. But
No, no, you good.
the history of where we was at, where all the great fighters used to buck in. We was there, y'all. We went in them. And if we would have knew before them, his family invited us, they would have let us stay. And this, it was nice. They told us we could have stayed in there the whole time we was there. You
Yeah,
remember that, Jay? It's just the history. But you're right, though, JJ. Like, but my thing is, you can't, you know, everybody got a part to do with it. Now, why that dude ain't cut out the count? Why Mungia ain't cut out the count? You know, why we ain't doing that? You know, we can go to the Keyshawn Davis count. Why Bo McNair didn't get rid of him after going back because they were sore losers because they brother lost. I know
yeah.
it ain't like steroids, but it's like something inhumane. You don't go try to jump somebody and beat them up
Yeah.
because they lost the fight, right? Just like with steroids, you said a president. Kick
Mhm.
him out the camp. Kick Monkey out the camp. Every fight kick him out the camp. But you know what? It's about the money, JJ. And that's all they care about. That's all this rotten commission that we got care about. I'm blaming the commission. That's what we need to put the pressure on. I'm going to start advocating to try to get to Washington, D.C. so I could talk to my partner, Ted Cruz, who the senator of our state, right? Who could holler and bring these people, bring the commission to them to explain themselves.
But
And they're going to have to answer the questions,
yeah,
and they're
but
going to get
you're talking about
sanctioned if
what,
they're
like
wrong.
50 different commissions. Well, look, you can start with Nevada, California, New York, New Jersey, Texas, Arizona, Florida, maybe. Like, start with those states and then start building more disciplinary action. What's frustrating about this conversation is we're about to move on to a different topic and there's no solution. We're going to leave this conversation and this episode with more doubt, more clouds, more. Oh, look, Victor Conti's involved. Oh, look, Eddie Reynoso. Is he going to have another fighter? Like, more unnecessary doubt
Is
in
Canelo gonna pop 30? That's what I'm thinking now.
God damn.
Is
Obviously,
Canelo gonna pop 30?
obviously,
That's
they're
in my
yeah,
mind.
obviously they're tested. They're not prepared for these tests because they're failing them now. So it's like, damn, dog. So anyway, we wanted to get on and talk about that. You got any closing thoughts before we move on? I feel like we're gonna
Let's
say
move
one
on.
more thing about it. Let me look through these pictures and make sure there's nothing to remind me. Nope, 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 nope. We talked about the list. Oh no, Devin Haney is what I wanted to talk about. The year-round, random, 365 days a year. I know it sounds a lot. It's very expensive, so a lot of these up-and-coming fighters that wouldn't be able to dish it out. But when you arrive at a certain level and you get thrown in that elite conversation and pound for pound, dog, it should be required, bro. They got to be a way to, if you're fighting for a belt, like, got to figure out
And,
a way to enroll for
and,
3. That's the only answer, bro. That's the only
and, that,
answer.
and you're right, and that's what going with the commission, and
Mm-hmm.
then putting the pressure on the commission to make the sanctioning bodies who ranking these guys pay for them year round.
Yep.
Because the sanctioning bodies want their money off
They want
of
that
them.
3%. What are you doing with it?
They want their money, so the sanctioning bodies who ranking these guys in their ranking systems, the sanctioning bodies should be ordered to make sure that these guys get tested year round. Or the commission, it's either or. They should do that. Y'all been robbing boxing for years. Y'all been letting this go on for years, and y'all done made billions of dollars off of it. Now it's time to start putting some of that money y'all made back into the sport. That's all
And
I
it
got to say about that.
and it'll pay back. It's not like you just wasting money. The more the sport is cleaned up, the more it'll grow. It'll grow. It's like just in your personal life, bro. If you hanging on to toxic shit, you're not gonna grow. If boxing cleans up its problems, it will naturally grow. We gotta fix this. Like the Devin Haney thing going year round. You gotta realize, bro, we're dealing with geniuses like Victor Conti, and they know how to time their shit. They know how to cycle. They know how to avoid the big test. So we have to be random. We have to be year round. You can't afford to just test once a year because they're cycling. But until then, I promise you we're gonna have another one to talk about within the next 3 months.
Like I say, it's sensitive, for Canelo fans to talk about, what's going on in their camp, and Terrence Crawford fans, they get real sensitive and start getting girly fied when you talk about Victor Conte. They just want to look the other way. So it's crazy, Zay. I don't like I said,
Yeah.
you have the Senate's you're
Yeah,
supposed to
we
go to
got
the
it, bro. We
Senate.
got we got to bring B Hop back in because he's always talking about Congress and taking this stuff to like you said, the senators and stuff. He's got a contact up in Pennsylvania too that he's put me in touch with. But again, I didn't want this to come on and be some Canelo and Crawford roasting session or nothing like that. We just calling it out. And damn it, I've said it before. One of my other favorite fighters, Shakur Stevenson. And like he's right up there with Conti as well, dog. And yeah, they've never tested positive, but Conti's never, at least in his baseball days, never failed the test. So they know how to get around them.
He
I
failed a
would,
couple of tests here with that
oh yeah, that's right.
fake
Well,
Ali.
Valdez
It's the
tested
fake Ali.
fake Michelle, whatever the hell.
And I ain't trying to put nothing on Shakira. I'm glad you brought him up. But like with his hand problems, he said he punching harder than ever now.
Yeah, yep, yep. But those are just thoughts that pop in our head. And you know what breaks my heart, bro, is that like you said right now, like look, dog, Canelo is post Floyd face of boxing, right? That they De La Hoya, Mayweather, Canelo. It's kind of how it happened. The past 3 of them. And for you, a boxing guy, a Canelo, not quite diehard, but you up there, and you said, now I'm wondering about his whole career. And that's the type of shit that messes me up when it comes to this sport because our icons, you think of football icons, nobody's saying, man, Joe Montana was a shit, but Tom Brady was great, but Barry Sanders was a shit, but there's no question. Those guys were just great. You looking at boxing, and now one of our greats is going to have that cloud around, obviously his failed test, but now his camp. And I hate it, dog. I hate it because I love this sport so much, and I hate that we even got to talk about this. All that said, we got a super fight coming up in September. Be sure you buy the pay-per-view because it's going to be fireworks.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And it's just like the way Terrence Crawford beat Earl Spence, religiously.
You think he's going to do it again?
No, I'm saying the way he beat Earl
Oh
Spence,
yeah,
like it make you start having questions, with him having that guy in this camp. I ain't making no excuses because he didn't test positive for nothing, but that starts to circulate.
these are just normal, regular people questions. Ain't nobody accusing shit of nobody. All right, well, let's move it on. We'll just keep it a two-topic night, bro. Turkey. We haven't addressed this yet, but Turkey Al-Sheikh coming out and making his proclamation that we will no longer have Tom and Jerry type boxing matches where one fighter's running around the ring and the other's chasing him. We can no longer support these kind of fights with riot season in the ring. We want to support fighters who leave it all in the ring and fight with heart and pride. So, Tom and Jerry, he's saying he don't want no more runners. Let me just throw these pictures up there real quick before we get into this. But almost seemed like he's trolling the hell out of Shakur. We have a surprise for Shakur. We're gonna have a ring that shrinks as the fight goes on. I don't think he's being literal. I think he means Cepeda's gonna keep pressing and pressing, and the ring's gonna get smaller. A lot of people really think that he's installing a ring that shrinks, but still. And then more Shakur trolling. This is a solution to deliver an amazing fight on Saturday, right? With a tiny ring and so all right, bro. So Turkey talking about Tom and Jerry. Obviously, that came after the Devin Haney weekend, the Canelo Skull weekend. How you feeling about it? Because I got some mixed emotions about it.
No, I like it. I don't got no problem with what Turkey Al-Sheikh saying. I mean, he making it clear, right? Whether what we feel about Turkey, him coming in all brash and bold, we have to give Turkey Al-Sheikh his credit and what he's been able to do in boxing. And not only that, paying these guys these abnormal amount of money, with also losing money on these events and just bringing excitement to boxing again. Yeah, it's trolling Shakur. Yeah, it's trolling everybody else who, they talk about boxing is the art of hit and not get hit. Yeah, that's true. But it's also the art of entertainment too. It's also the art of getting there and really fighting like the old school fighters fought. Like all these young fighters like to always reach back to the old school fighters. Well, reach back to them. You
Yeah.
talk about what they did. They was in there fighting. Right? They was in there doing that. I'm not telling these guys I'm not telling Shakur Stevenson not to box and be smart. But I'm telling Shakur Stevenson, like, dude, if you who you say you is, you must put on a show. You should be fighting more than boxing, bro. If you're that superior, yes, set everything up, get that out the way. But like Turkey Al-Sheikh said, he's putting the money for these guys, you know, out there, giving them abnormal amount of money and making them happy, JJ, right? And I love that. So they should respect his wishes and understand that they need to go in there and put on the performance and stop playing this peekaboo Tom and Jerry. I agree with everything he said.
Yeah, dog, but I do have a problem with it, bro, because man, we were just talking about with Norman yesterday, right? That with Coach Norman Sr. Um he's making these guys think about, which is good. That's what I'm saying. I'm riding the fence on this, so follow me. Yeah, we got to do better when you have a big fight. People are paying hard-earned money to get there or to watch on TV. Skull, what he did was unacceptable. And look, we just gave Devin Haney all the credit in the world for what he's doing with PEDs, but his fight with Jose Ramirez, unacceptable. That shit was unacceptable. That was just flat out, just nothing but movement, no attempt to land shots or even get your fighter out of there. But at the same time, bro, you can't, as the guy who's dishing out the money, you can't say, look, dog, now that I'm paying you, you need to change the way you've been fighting your whole life. Now, look, I'm not talking about the extreme running like Skull and how Devin fought that weekend. I'm talking about guys who rely on movement. An Arislandi Lara, like that type. Guys who rely on movement. I'm worried that now they're going to be like, this is a guy who pays my check. Now I got to do something different. Not only do I got to worry about the guy in front of me, I got to fight different than I've been learning since I was 6 years old. But bro, there's a way. It's the sweet science. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. Like there's so many different ways to do it. You can't just say, well, because I love watching action, brutal fights. That's how I want this fight to be. Like it's the wrong sport, then, dog. Go do power slapping or whatever the hell that shit is, where there's no defense. I say that, and I understand the issue with the extreme runners. Obviously, that's an issue, but how often do we really see that, dog? Like now you got somebody like Devin Haney, who understands the guy who's funding his bank account is expecting him to do something different. He's going to put himself at extra risk fighting a fight he's not comfortable with and possibly get knocked the fuck out by Brian Norman Jr. You see what I'm saying? It could change the way these fights would normally go. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I feel like it's bad. You shaking your head.
I disagree 100% with what you're saying about them changing who they are. They need to change who they are. For the last 10 years, it sucked.
Have you watched
And
amateur boxing though?
man,
That's
for
what
the
it
last,
is.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. No, but this is the professional boxing. And they always want to talk about how they're putting their life on the line and they want all the money in the world. Well, if you're making these such high demands, well, if a guy who's paying you the money saying, okay, if you want this, well, do more. Do more to show us you want this. JJ, your favorite fighter of all time, Mike Tyson. People could think what they want to think of him. But when Mike Tyson came to the ring, he came to win. He came to put you out there. He didn't come to put on a peekaboo show like that. And I know all styles are different. But what I'm telling you is the last 10 years have sucked. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go to Canelo. Let's go how did his resume get ridiculed, right? Because of the fighters he fought. And I'm not even going to be mad at people. Let's talk about how people ridicule Terrence Crawford resume, right? They got every right to. I'm not mad at them, right? But they still won. But they say that's what we've been getting into Terrence Crawford crazy. That's why I be upset with like real boxing fans, right? Because the way Terrence Crawford fight is the way that a superstar fighter should be a superstar fighter. Like if you want a superstar fighter, how isn't Terrence Crawford like he just made it to becoming this, right? At the age of 37, JJ. People can
Mm-hmm.
say what they want to say. They can say, oh no, he was a superstar then, but he just became a superstar like a year ago.
It took 10
And,
knockouts in a row to do it.
but that's what pissed me off though. Because Terrence Crawford got the type of style, right, that you want to see in a fighter that's supposed to make a fighter a superstar. But then you got people who saying, oh, this and this, but then people won't get in there and fight him. Like even with Shakur, like you can say what you want to say about your hand, and I get it, right? I get it. Shout out to Willie Moses, his grandfather, my God. He told us about the injuries. I get it. But I'm tired of hearing you, and I get what Turkey out of 6 saying, just like Devin Haney be talking and doing all that talking like he Floyd Mayweather. That's why Mosquito has a disdain for Devin Haney because he tried to act just like Mayweather, right, and talk like Mayweather, right. But these guys ain't getting in the ring and fighting young like Pretty Boy Floyd. They not getting in
Mm-mm.
there and doing that. As great as your career is, he talk a big talk on the outside, right? And I'm not saying he ain't showed up in some fights, but as good as he is, right, as easy as we can see, he could beat these opponents. We see him being more careful, JJ, than actually want to get these guys the hell up out of there. And that's what Turkey LFC is addressing. You Twitter talk, you
Mm-hmm.
even wear your shorts that say Twitter, son, and all that. You get on there and do that. So people expect to say, oh, I'm gonna put on the best performance of my life. But dude, you're gonna be in Central Park in New Jersey They call you, my boy Mosquito call him the Brick City Berserker. Will show us you finna be throwing bricks against Zapata. Because guess what? Zapata is gonna come. You're not gonna be able. I don't care what nobody on here say. Yeah, Shakur gonna have to throw at least 50 punches, at least 30 to 50 punches around to beat Zapata. If he
Well,
don't do that, Shakur losing this fight because Zapata is going to be on him all night. And if Shakur want to try to play peekaboo and do this and not let them hands go and don't trust in throwing them many punches, I'm telling you, it's going to be a tough. I got Shakur. I think he should win this fight. But for him to win this fight, you not gonna be able to play peekaboo around that ring because them judges now ain't finna give it to these peekaboo fighters no more who not doing as much, and these other fighters who throwing more punches,
uh,
landing more punches. I'm telling you, Jay Watts.
yeah, yeah. You're right, bro. Now, look, I want to say a couple things though. To a couple points with that, with those 5 minutes you just took. God damn it. Uh, uh, uh. You talked about Devin Haney and Shakur, and like, look, bro. These guys are established fighters, and we're still wondering: are they going to show up? Are they going to impress us the next fight? Haney, Shakur specifically. But I want to remind you of something that's a breath of fresh air. Because let's think about fighters like Abdullah Mason, who goes for the kill, Kid Austin, Brian Norman Jr., Bam Rodriguez. Think about these fighters that are the next wave who we see it. They go for the kill, but they got skills too, but they come out to fight. So I think we're at that point where we're going to start seeing that generation. You touched on it yesterday. That generation slowly start to go away, and we're going to get these killers again. What the sport of boxing is supposed to be. Turkey's dangling money over it, hoping that brings it out in them. That might not because they're still getting their paychecks. Second point I wanted to make. You brought up Mayweather, and we were talking about these fighters like Mike Tyson. Mayweather Corrales. That's a fight that shut me up for Mayweather. Corrales, a big, long, 130-pounder knockout artist. Mayweather stood in there, knocked his ass out, finished him. Then I'll take it a step back. De La Hoya, Trinidad. Now, I know De La Hoya didn't get the result he wanted, but for the first 7 rounds, Trinidad's left hook was probably the most feared left hook in the business. And De La Hoya shut the crowd up, who wondered if he knew how to, if he was going to stand in there, if he was going to be running. He beat Trinidad, couldn't touch him with that hook, and De La Hoya was fighting a brilliant fight without running. Now he decided to run at the end to prove that he could box and brawl, and it cost him the fight. But at least the judges penalized him for fighting like a dumbass. Today's judges aren't doing that. Today's judges gave Devin Haney the fight. Today's judges gave William Skull no, they didn't give William Skull the fight. But point I'm trying to make is you're right. We do have a problem outside of PEDs. It's with these fighters that don't want to engage. Now, Corey, I talked about it a little bit ago. I'm going to give you a homework assignment. Go YouTube all of USA Boxing's fight for about the last 8 years and watch how they fight. Now, this isn't criticism. You know, Christine, friend of the show, she's a USA Boxing coach. We got people who we rock with USA Boxing, but watch those fights. Our root of the fruit that you always call. Watch how they fight. It's all defense. It's all moving. You got these guys from Mexico and Germany and the European countries trying to attack, and our Americans are just moving, which is why I believe we don't see as many gold medals as we used to. Go watch our amateur program, and then let's talk about why we're seeing the problems we're seeing in the actual professionals, bro. It's something nobody talks about, but it's really there. You got to see it.
Okay, well, don't forget damn minutes you just took.
Oh yeah, I try to give it back to you.
but you made some excellent goddamn points. Like, yeah, just because people friends of the show, that don't mean they ain't under their bright light, of getting ridiculed. And Team USA, y'all doing it. Y'all need to do better.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all need to do better. Oh, y'all need to do better. Y'all done got to this. That's why all these fighters coming from across the pond, like I said, I'm telling you, got more people from across the pond who are the champions in divisions than USA fighters, bro. And you know why? Because these USA fighters, they want to be pretty. They want to make sure that their fighters got on pretty shorts and that their mouth gear matched their shorts and that their hair is all braided up and you know that they got their towels and they're flapping them like that and they're making sure they throw roses onto their feet and stuff when they walk in the ring and walk out and all of that other stuff. No, they got to do better, and that's the reason why these American fighters ain't as good as they used to be.
I don't want
These
don't say they're not as good. They're not as
they
fun.
not.
They're not as fun
No,
to watch.
no, they not as
Different.
good.
And
They not as
extremely
good.
talented.
JJ,
Extremely talented.
no, JJ. It was at one point where America ran shit when it came to professional boxing. The majority, we suck now. Listen, not suck, but the world is better than us now. Like we used to have
They caught
that
up. Look at
power.
the
JJ,
NBA, bro.
no,
Look at
look,
the
look
NBA.
at it. Look at
They
it. Look
caught
at
up.
that. Look at that Atuma dude. What heavyweight from America who
It
you
ain't
think could
happening.
beat him?
Now,
Name one.
no. The American boxing,
Moses Atuma.
heavyweight boxing scene is dead. I stand on
No.
that shit.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying though. Like, okay, welterweight, okay, cool. But we need Brian Norman Jr. to really go in here and spazackle Devin Haney, because if he don't, then you know that's gonna be even if it's subpar, they're still not gonna get no recognition. And like Coach was saying last night, they got to go in there and do them dirty. You got to. If you don't put on no spectacular performance, they're not gonna look at you. I'm trying to see who else. What, Bam Rodriguez? What, you got Eddie fucking Hearn? You know, thank you for bringing it to Dallas, but he from San Antonio, dude. San Antonio got some of the greatest boxing fans in the world.
Mhm.
Why they not premiering 210 Bam Rodriguez in San Antonio, bro? He here in Dallas and he like, oh, you know, well, I'm just happy I'm back in Texas, you know, wherever they send me. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's what he got to say. But damn, that's Bam. This is Bam Rodriguez. This ain't no regular fight. And that's what they do. They treat him like he's still fighting in Arizona. That he fighting in Dallas. Dallas? Thank you.
Hey, that's good. We gonna bring him
But
out. We gonna
JJ,
bring him out.
but it don't make no sense for Bam Rodriguez though, JJ. Just think about it.
Mi-
Virgil Ortiz.
oh, no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. This is Mike Ramirez
No,
comment, but I want to hear what you're saying.
nah, look, Virgil Ortiz. What's that fight we went to in
The Meat Machine?
no, yeah, what was that at in Grand Prairie?
Oh
What was
no, I
the
don't
name
know
of that
which one.
place?
There's one in Frisco, one in Fort Worth.
No, the name of that place in Fort Worth,
Dickies Arena.
Dickies Arena.
No,
Like, shout out
correct.
to
No,
Oscar.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Man, JJ,
I'm gonna
listen,
interrupt you. I'm gonna
Shout out
interrupt
to
you.
Oscar De La Hoya.
The
He
reason
lied,
that fight was a fail. He dropped the ball.
man.
It
He
was.
lied.
I forgot who was in town, but hold
Bring up the
on. Let me
Mexican.
hit this comment.
No, it was a big Mexican band, but so that's supposed to be Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, there was a big concert. All right, Mike Ramirez said it's hard to train when you're sleeping in silk sheets. A new saying is hard to put on a show when you already got the money in the bag. That's another thing. These guys, they sniff a world title and then they start demanding big money. The promoters and the people who are funding it hear the fans because we want to see it, but the fighters are demanding the big money, so they have to pay them big money. And then they pay them big money, and we never see them be the same versions of themselves again. Another
Turkey from
problem
the
in
start.
boxing. Another
Turkey from
problem.
the start. Turkey from the stop that. He giving you the money, Shakur. You better go in there and fight,
But
right?
everybody, bro, everybody. Like,
Like
I
that.
mean, why is Tank Davis filthy rich right now? He
He
hasn't
ain't
given
filthy
us
rich.
one single giant fight that we asked for.
But JJ, he ain't filthy rich because if Tank Davis was who he said he was, still that mystique is gone away. And speaking of Tank Davis, Tank Davis is good, JJ. But I seen something about Tank. Tank Davis ain't the same fighter he used to be, and it ain't that he took no punishment. It's just the
No,
money, like Mike Ramirez
it's
say,
this.
the
Yeah,
silk sheets.
it's that, bro. Why would you though, correct? Like, I'm not mad at Tank. Like, what? Look, I'm a sales guy. I got a cush ass job. If they said, hey, we're gonna pay you the same amount of money for having this shitty goal, shitty territory, but you're getting paid the same amount of money. Why would you? So he got that money, and now why would you? Like, why? Why would you put
And
yourself
that's
through hell?
but that's why I blame Floyd Mayweather, right? You know, he want to come back and try to make a stand now because he ain't got no fighter really but Rolly. That's the only one who won them fake championship belts. I guess he got a belt now, or whatever they
Well,
said.
he's a three-time
But,
title holder now, right? Because
yeah, yeah, but
now that Boost moved up, he's the super champ, isn't he? IBF.
yeah, yeah, he's the full champion. One of them, I don't know. But what
He's
I'm saying
three-time
is,
champ, Rolly Romero.
but what I'm saying, Mayweather started that trend, right? He responsible for that, bro. Like
Uh-huh.
not the early Mayweather, but the late Mayweather.
100%.
These guys looked at him instead of Mayweather enforcing, and giving up the game. Yeah, man, y'all looking at me now, me laid back. Y'all ain't looking at me when I was coming up. When I had to make my way to before I can get this level. I blame him. He the one who laid out the red carpet for Tank to act like that and do what he do. Yeah, we want to blame Tank. No, we got to blame Mayweather. And guess what? Tank even started. This how the losing of Tank is. He started beefing with Mayweather, the dude who eased him down the yellow brick road. Tank.
It's fucking bananas. Check out Nerd's comments. The dude's spot on. So, regarding Team USA, not as good is correct. Last gold for USA was win. Exactly, man. And it sucks because we know so many people involved, and you don't want to I don't want to go and tell a coach how they should coach, but like shit. Like there is no offense on our team, dog. Like
Yeah,
ever anymore.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's because you got these USA coaches. Instead of coming in there really want to put in a nitty gritty with the fighters, they want to come in there and shake hands and kiss babies just to get accoladed to the next person, so they can have the connection. Instead of coming in there and putting in their real work and what they see, they just be a go along, get along guy. Just call it like we see it. USA boxing sucks. Y'all have went down tremendously, and this ain't no shot at USA. This just telling y'all need to do better. Instead of playing go along, get along, y'all need to
take
start
it.
from the top. They need to start from the top, JJ. And that's where I said at the top, who's ever running USA boxing, they need to get rid of that guy or lady immediately. And I don't never advocate for nobody to lose their job. But if we're talking about USA boxing, if we're talking about want to bring the best fighters in the world, because these fighters across the pond, they really training. They ain't trying to fight like they pretty and stuff and not get. They really coming
Yeah,
to
man.
fight,
It's
JJ.
it's
So
crazy, bro.
whoever at the top of USA, I'm advocating for that. They need to get removed or removed. Not saying they need to get fired, but they need to get demoted, and they need to bring in somebody new because this has been going on for years. So everybody around, just like we said about the thin blue line in the police, we was talking about earlier before online. It's a thin blue line in the USA boxing to where they all go along, get along, Jay.
Bro, I'm sitting here like, hey, dog, keep it down, keep it down. It's USA boxing because like that's what sucks is you can't really call it out. But no, we're gonna call it out because they got to put out a better. We have so much talent in the United States of America. We should be able to win the Olympics every year just by going to one state. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much talent. Let's get these guys trained up right. Let's put a little offense back in the game. We haven't seen it in a long time. Nerd's other point.
Uh,
Oh, go ahead. No,
no,
I think we can kind of keep it going. He says, case in point, Shushu today on the Boxing Boys said he wouldn't go overseas to fight Nick Ball or Inoue. 29-year-old prospect thinks he's owed something. And here's the key word, the entitlement. And look, Nerd, you hit the fucking nail on the head. And I know we try to wrap this up by 9, Corey, but let me hit my thoughts. United States of America, not just in boxing, we have an entitlement problem. And it's an entitlement problem and a lack of accountability problem. So when something goes wrong, all we do is point fingers, find who to blame. And entitlement is I'm owed this because whatever reason. And I love
like,
Shushu. I love Shushu Carrington. I love Shushu. But that mindset has
man.
poisoned our American boxers, dog. That mindset is
Uh,
poisoned. Go ahead.
hey, shoot. Let me holler at you, fam.
You
Right
gotta let me
now,
holler at
now
you.
yeah. Now this is a reality check for you, sir. I don't know who you think you is. I know you say you from Brownsville, New York, or whatever. You try to throw up that mic, but don't nobody know who you is, fam. You walking around like you think you Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney, fam. Like you said, you a 29-year-old prospect who ain't done nothing, and you talking about you not gonna go over there. You can't even get a crowd of 3,000 to come and watch you here. When the people across the pond could bring out stadiums to bring a fight, the entitlement. See, dude, that's why you in a position and you 29 years old and still a prospect. And we got guys like Brian Norman, who 24-year-old and a champion. That's the reason why you're a prospect, because of your mind frame. You're thinking you're pretty, you're feeling yourself. The girls telling you how cute you were. They weren't telling you that at first or something. And then you walking around with this new entitlement. I could care less for Shushu after hearing that statement. Now,
Well,
he's going to get it now. Look, I respect him, but he going to get it now for making that comment, JJ. He's
well,
totally out of line.
I gotta see it. I didn't see it. I'm. This is just coming straight from Nerd. So
If he said that.
yeah. So
But I'm not going to believe. I'm not. Come on, this dude right here has been smart
yeah,
and
I
very
do.
intellect
I know,
with his
but
questions. I believe what he said.
I
I
do.
believe him.
I
And
believe
if I'm
Nerd.
wrong, I'll come back and apologize.
No,
But JJ, for him to say, "Oh, you
but
on my shit," and
it's
that's
not
nothing,
just
dude.
Shushu, bro. Shushu's just the one who said it out loud. But it's a problem with all of the young guys. And shit, Shushu's touching 30, hitting close to 30 already. Look, you just went in on Shushu. I like what I see from Shushu so far. I think he's got a great personality. I think all of the things. He's got the skills. But to say you won't go overseas to fight anyway, like, did you get a bigger opportunity than that? You will have 10 times more people in
He
attendance.
said Nick Ball. Nick Ball.
Well, he also said anyway.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. But Nick Ball, too. I promise you, Nick Ball is a legend overseas in his hometown. Nick Ball will bring out 5 times the amount of people Shushu Carrington can bring out. Inoue would bring out 10 times the amount of people Shushu Carrington.
20,
And
30, 40.
and here's the key word. You have an opportunity to prove yourself to the world. Why wouldn't you do that? You know why? It's not just shoo. It's like 90% of our American youngsters. Entitlement. No, I'm not going to do that. I've been working so hard my whole life. Mayweather fought in Vegas all the time. Why do I got to go overseas? They don't get it, bro. That's another. We started the episode with a problem in boxing, PEDs. We're ending the episode with the problem in boxing, entitlement for the United States of American boxing.
Hey, and this is my last thought, JJ. I'm making it real brief because I know we got to wrap up, right? I don't like these American fighters no more. I don't like y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This called World Championship Boxing, and I don't like y'all. I got a total disdain for these American boxers. Not all of them, but just the ones that I see who ain't willing to do what it takes. See, this real quick. The people from across the pond, and I always say this, they had to suffer for years. They were forced to come over here and had to go through what they had to go to, whether they had to get a knockout or not. They was forced to come do it for years, and they did it. And these suck on pacifier American fighters won't do that. I'm done with these American fighters.
Just take a deep breath, Corey. Let's take a deep breath. We got some fun boxing coming up this weekend. Hey, real quick, since we're not doing prediction shows because we stuck between a rock and a hard place because we got episode 100 with a very special guest, but for the 100 mark. But this is episode 99, so we're not gonna have a prediction show. So let's just do real quick. Serrano, Taylor, the third.
I think they're gonna rob. What I think they're gonna rob Katie Taylor this time. I think Katie Taylor gonna win clear, but it's just too much simping going on for Serrano, Amanda Serrano. It's too much simping going. I'm being honest. They simping for this woman too much right now. You know, her and her hump nose. I'm sorry, they simping for her, JJ, and I'm sick of it. Like she's a great fighter, but stop simping for her. And I think it's gonna be a clear robbery in this fight. Katie should get the victory, but she's going to get robbed. So I'm picking Serrano by robbery.
All right. Hold up. And then let's go to.
Who you got?
Here's a funny thing. Katie Taylor said today she would be down for a fourth fight if Amanda Serrano wins this one. But who do I got? I got look, I love Amanda Serrano, but I think Katie Taylor, we've seen 20 rounds of the same shit. And everybody's like, well, Amanda Serrano threw more punches and landed more punches, but it's how they landed them. And in my opinion, Katie Taylor on both nights landed the more effective, the more painful punches. And I'm gonna go with Katie Taylor for the sweep. Now you said that she could get robbed, but if there's a robbery, we'll address it. But I'm predicting Katie Taylor for another action pack, and I think she wins.
That Paul behind her, he want to get it even up. He want a fourth fight. This will be a robbery. Just like, watch what I tell you. That's why I'm picking Serrano. In my heart, I know Katie Taylor gonna win this fight, but I want to be right this week over here in these
All
next
right.
coming predictions.
All right, and then let's go to Saturday. We'll make it real quick too. Berlanga and Shiraz. And then, man, we're not gonna go through the whole card. Hell with that. Let's just do Berlanga, Shiraz, and Shakur and Cepeda. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna just say I got Berlanga and I got Shakur Stevenson. Like, but it's an if with Shakur Stevenson, right? If dude ain't throwing, I want y'all to know this. If Shakur ain't throwing 30 to 50 punches around, he's not going to win this fight. And y'all know Zepeda is going to win. But I'm picking Shakur because I feel like I hope he's telling me the truth for the 10th time. Like he been telling us he was going to do. He's going to put on the greatest performance of his life. So I'm picking Shakur. And I got Berlanga. I just think, I like Shiraz. And I ain't just gonna judge him off his last fight because the dude really got skills, right? But I like Edgar Berlanga. I think the rawness in him, the dogness in him, and he got a skill set too. And he done been in there with better competition. I got Berlanga winning this fight. I'm gonna say 12th round decision, but it might be a knockout.
All right. I'll respect it. That was a tough one, but I see too many holes in Berlanga's defense. I think Shiraz is trying to make up for that shitty ass performance against Adames, and I'm gonna pick Shiraz by. Nobody said this one yet, but I'm picking Shiraz by stoppage. I think Berlanga is susceptible to get knocked down, and I think Shiraz is gonna drop him, but I don't think he's gonna let his foot off the gas. And then Shakur Cepeda, like you said, Shakur been promising us something for a minute. Look, we just saw Cepeda go 20 rounds with Tevin Farmer, the same Tevin Farmer that went 45 seconds with Kid Austin. And look, and I'm not taking I don't like triangle theories, and I'm not taking nothing away from Kid Austin's amazing performance. But what I'm saying is there's levels to this. And I think Shakur is gonna display his brilliance, and I think he's gonna stay in the pocket, and it's gonna be a fun fight to watch. I hope so, at least. And so I'm going Shiraz, Shakur Stevenson on points, Shiraz knockout. And that's it, my boy.
Salute.
You good to wrap up episode 99 and stay tuned for episode 100 with our very, very special guest.
Yeah, salute to everybody, man. Y'all be ready for that big 100.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
This is JJ Solomon.
This Ray Bradshaw, Mr. IOTBA. Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day. And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast.